Anyway, we are full of rage because we went to Raging Waves, and we didn't hate the park. That was just a lame pun.
Yep. It was an event.
Yeah, it was an event with. I think I can say it. I'm only going to post it on one area. We went with Ace, the Western Great Lakes region, or Great Lakes Western region, something like that. Uh, and it was never so far away that we couldn't have gone. It was just far enough away that we were like, well, we have Hurricane Harbor.
Right. Right.
But then when we found out that the Raging Waves deal was like what, $20 a person,
Yep.
we were like, well, might as well, right?
Yep.
So
You okay?
that yeah, that water. Uh,
So we drove. What was it?
almost an hour, over
No,
an
it
hour.
was an hour and a half about.
Okay.
But it was worth it.
Mhm.
Everybody was really nice there. They're very polite.
And for people that um I don't know how to put this delicately, there's a porta potty outside the park.
Thank God.
And the parking lot is really weird because I was thinking it was just going to be like one big parking lot and then the park. It's more of like the parking lot is
Surrounding.
surrounds the park.
Yeah. And the owners, wow, they really went above and beyond.
And there's a free parking area, and then was there free parking or was it a
Yeah.
paid parking?
There was reserved paid
Okay.
parking.
And even though it was an event and probably other people were in the reserved,
Not many.
we were in the we
But
were
the
we
park
were
was
just in
sold
the
out.
free.
The park was sold out the day we went.
Yeah, we'll get into that in terms of something else that I've planned. So yeah, something that was cool about Raging Waves, we got free lockers.
No, we didn't.
I thought we did.
No.
Oh.
I paid for a large locker.
Oh, it was free inner tubes that we got. Never mind.
Yeah. Which was a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get into that. We got free inner tubes. We got a
Free refillable drink bottle.
mm-hmm. Jealous Drew the intern. Uh,
And an ice cream and a lunch.
yeah, and the lunch was
Either hot dog, pizza, or hamburger.
yeah
Cheeseburger.
with fries. Um,
Which was really nice for me because I needed a special
oh yeah,
lunch.
and so they made her a special gluten-free burger.
Yes, and they even brought it out to me where I was sitting, which I was
Mhm.
surprised. That was like so nice.
And in case you're wondering, people, the park is a Pepsi park.
Yes, yay.
Could use some more drink stands, but that's my opinion. Anyway,
And we did get our magnet,
mm-hmm.
or you got your magnet.
Yep. Yeah, the staff's really nice, and people there are really nice. They
The group we were with, it turned out bigger than I guess the year before, and
it was like what, 60 people, I think.
and everybody kind of got along,
Mhm.
and the water was cold at first.
No, the water stayed cold. uh,
But it was a hot day. My God, wasn't it towards the 90s? In
Yeah.
the 90s?
so it was
A
good
lot of
that
suntan lotion, a lot of walking back and forth.
yeah, the park is pretty spread out.
Well, I didn't know that there were like two ways until we met that other lady that was from our group.
There were two ways.
Two ways you could go through. You could have gone over like this wooden bridge, but she said don't go over barefoot because it was really hot.
Yeah. So anyway, Ace gave us ERT on two of the rides, the boomerang. Don't worry, people, it's not a Vekoma boomerang. It's a Pro Slide Tornado that me and would Jeremy. I was gonna try to say his last name, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody that went on it that went high in the one part when they came down into it, they were like, "Woo!" You heard everybody laughing, and
yeah, I don't
it
know
sounded
if
like a lot of fun for everybody.
I don't know if this model tornado Pro Slide Tornado is smaller or bigger than the Great America Tornado, but something was, or maybe it's just because he's losing weight and I'm pretty big. So we just, because we were the only two, we kind of went pretty high up the wall and we were like, whoa! I think, uh, did I have to do it backwards or did he
Yeah.
do it backwards?
No. He faced the wall. You
Okay.
you went up the wall, your back
I was like,
facing the wall.
whoa. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. And then we went to Wanambi, which apparently is themed to a snake. This was, what was it? I think it was in like the, I don't know if it won best new ride when it came out, but it was in the top 5 uh nominations for best new water park ride.
Well, you heard a lot of people weren't. There was more screaming on that ride.
Yeah, there, and you also, and by the time that happened at like, or that was like 60, 70 feet tall, you heard a lot of people say, okay, I'm just going to be in the lazy river all day.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Well, you didn't climb up.
No, I didn't.
She's a grounds person, a ground person, right?
Don't like heights. I don't like seeing through the steps as you're climbing up.
So you can handle
If it's
Summit
got an
Plummet.
elevator, if it's got an elevator, maybe.
So you'd be okay on Summit Plummet.
No, 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 no. That's high.
Hey, but you climb a, anyway, or
That's
tight.
okay. I did the Great Barrier Reef.
And the crocodile, or no, not the crocodile, the Kookaburra Creek. Anyway, Wanambi, it was also Jeremy and I. We, it has like this indoor long slide section, and then it ends up like a half pipe. Is that what it is? No,
Did
it
you
doesn't.
say Wanabe?
Wanambi. Yeah, that's what
It's a
happens.
4-person tube adventure. Twists, turns, and will take your breath away.
That doesn't really say a whole lot.
Did it take your
So
breath away?
yes, it did. But
You were surprised.
that was one of several of these rides surprised me. That was definitely one of them. And then by the time we were done, the park was open. So then we got a tube, and then we checked out the Kookaburra Creek.
Yeah. And that thing got very crowded by the end
What
of the day.
I said something to the representative that we were talking to at lunch, that it was good, but it could have used some more like water effects.
Probably, but at the end of the day, when it got very crowded in there, that current, you could not slow down. You kept like really moving with it.
Like there were some people, like I told some people, like it's pretty much a lazy river, and then they got off and it was like, wow, you were serious, you weren't kidding when you said it was a lazy river.
Yeah, but
Like it didn't have it had a few jet sections. I think it could have used a few more. It didn't have really a waterfall section. It didn't have a section like a water curtain really. It did have a rapid section, and one perk that I will give it over Six Flags Great America's Castaway Creek is that it is a transportation.
transportation.
Yes,
It transports you. So,
so
you
you
could
can.
get in on one side and get out on the other side
Yeah,
and be
there's
able
like
to go
four.
to
There's
yeah.
like 4 or 5 different entrances and exits on the ride, so it's not just. It's not just like one. It's not just a enter and exit in one section,
Right.
which might have hurt capacity maybe a little bit because you saw a lot of empty tubes.
Right. Well, they were pulling, some of the tubes out.
Yeah, the clear tubes were free for everyone, and the blue tubes were
You
the
had to have a wristband,
yeah,
and if you had a blue tube and you didn't have a wristband,
you had to give it back.
yeah, they were very strong about taking it out of the water on you. So, and they ran out of tubes.
Okay, what was the next thing I did?
Did you do the Three Sisters or something?
I did that. I did that towards the end. I'm trying to keep it in
Well, the wave
chronological
pool,
order.
the one thing different, and we've been to a couple water parks. This wave pool, when the waves stop and they take a break, they don't make everyone get out of the water.
Yeah, but it's also kind of annoying because they don't say how long the break is.
Yeah, it was quite a while. I was like, when is this going to go
Yeah,
again?
I was like, huh?
But those waves really produced, wow.
Okay, the next thing I did, I think I did Platypus Plunge after that, which was a regular tube slide. Um, that goes
Did you
40
do that
miles an
before
hour.
lunch or after lunch?
Before lunch, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I did that. I did Kangaroo Falls, and I did Wild Wallabies before lunch.
And by these names, you can understand that what kind of theme that they have.
They have a they even said they have a loose Australian theme.
Yeah. And what was kind of fun is after everyone got together for lunch, we did like question and answers. There were some great questions,
Yeah,
some great
I think I
answers.
asked like what is your favorite name for a ride, and someone said Wild Wallabies because they got to name it.
Yeah. And we got to go see the, what is it, the pumps?
Oh yeah,
Wow, man. How
a
much
lot of
water
pumps.
they pump in and out of that place? Whew.
But what's weird is that they don't really recycle a lot of the water. They do? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, Platypus Plunge was a pretty intense tube slide. And something that I will give Raging Waves is that the tube slides are very dark inside. Kay didn't ride any of the tube slides or body slides or slides. But trust me when I say they were very dark, and they weren't like see through like Great America does or some other water slides do. They were like completely in the dark until maybe like 10 feet before the ending.
And this park really, with the small kids area, two places for the small kids area, you really didn't see a lot of small kids running
I thought there were
around.
3 areas.
Oh, with the sandbox too. The
There's three: Koala Cove, Coconut Island, and Kangaroo Falls,
oh,
and the sandbox.
but I mean, a lot of adults there, with kids and without kids.
Hmm.
So you didn't see a lot of kids running around and stuff like that. So this lazy river, when they ran out of tubes, they were allowing people to just walk it too.
Yeah, which probably means they should add another lazy river. We'll
Yeah.
get into that later. Uh, then after the platypus plunge, then I went to Kangaroo Falls. It's one of those family play areas that has a dipping bucket.
Oh, you went over there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I told you I did Kangaroo
yeah.
Falls. Um, should I get into the negatives
No,
or no? Okay, I won't get into the negatives.
there weren't very many anyway.
Yeah, I won't say any of the negatives. I already told the people there some things that some negatives that I had, and it's not to say the park is terrible, and it does not represent raging waves. So yeah, I did Kangaroo Falls. I did several of the I did several of the small slides. I did the water cannons. I dealt with the tipping bucket several times, so that was pretty fun. And then I went to the Wild Wallabies. These are pink and green slides,
Yeah,
and
bright.
and I was they were open air slides, and I was worried that I was gonna have to like lay on my back because I'm not a fan of body slides because they can sometimes like hurt your back. You know, going from section to section to
Yeah.
section. This lady allowed me to ride sitting upright.
Oh, very nice.
And I would be shocked if Wild Wallabies was not pretty exciting and pretty intense. I was amazed.
Good.
Because you look at them and they seem like just stretched out body slides, but no, you kind of get some force.
Good. So you had some good surprises.
Hmm.
That's good.
Was it this point that we had lunch?
I'm not sure.
I think it was this point that we had lunch. So we went to
You either got to eat
Shark
at
Bite.
Shark Bite or Dingo, or no, Dingo's Frosty Treats is where we got
There's
the ice
a
cream.
there's a pizza place next to Shark Bite.
Yeah. So Shark Bite had the hot dog, hamburger, cheeseburger with fries,
Hmm.
and the pizza place just had the pizza, no fries.
Small pizza.
No, it was a pretty good size, I thought.
It was just anyway. So then we got to do a Q&A with the management. Um, they said a slightly different version of why they picked an Australian theme than what I heard at No Coaster Con. I mentioned how they were really good at No Coaster Con because they gave out free mini donuts.
Yep.
And if they could do that again,
And which actually at the park they sold mini donuts
yeah,
with ice cream.
hmm maybe you can do that in January.
No.
Yeah.
Just let them
We,
come back.
just let us have warm food.
Just
um, so I asked them what kind of slides they would like to see, and they were talking about like um
well, they only use two manufacturers, Pro Slide
and
and
Whitewater.
Whitewater.
I imagine they might have used Aquatic Development, which is a third company for the Lazy River and the Wave Pool, if I were to guess. Because the Kangaroo Falls is Whitewater.
Oh, okay.
It's their rain fortress
But how
model.
he explained, they can really put up a slide kind of quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they don't get full approval in the fall before the winter comes, they still can get it up in the spring.
Ooh, two things we forgot to mention. One, this is in Yorkville, but what was the city that was near it?
Sugar Grove.
Yeah, they wanted to build it in Sugar Grove, but Sugar Grove was like, no, that'll increase our taxes or that'll decrease our property value, so we
Or
won't build.
increase traffic and
Yeah.
everything.
And then Yorkville was like, hey, you want to build here?
Yeah, we'll take you. In which they do have a lot of land that they can build.
Yeah, you can look and you can see they have probably at least 20, 30 acres surrounding.
Which they'll need if they add anything else, they need it also for parking.
Yeah, they said like there's a 20 we have 20 acres and we're thinking about what to do with it. I made the joke an indoor water park. They're like that would be pretty that I don't know if that's in her budget or
No, because I think somebody brought up in Sandwich, Illinois, there was going to be an indoor water park, and they couldn't get the total funding, so they never finished it. They tore it down.
there
Too
should
bad.
be a lot more indoor water parks, but that's me. Uh
Well, as the sun gets hotter.
yeah. Uh one of the towers that someone thought was, hey, did that have a slide that got removed? That was a tower for a zip line.
Yeah.
There was like this really long zip line that was pretty
And it
far.
wasn't very stable.
Yeah.
So,
So they had to like tear it down and then rebuild it or something.
no, the tower was still there, but they don't
Didn't they
think
say they had to
they
tear
don't
it
think
down
they could.
and
Yeah, they
rebuild
took
it?
down the zip lining, but
Okay.
they still have that one tower there, but it's
Mhm.
not very stable.
Um and and then I asked like I'm sorry, I only remember the questions I asked. What is something you would not want to build at Raging Waves? Cuz I find those questions pretty interesting, like some they don't want to build because they're not going to say what they do want to, but they might say what they don't want to. And he doesn't want one of those uh body bowl slides where you just land in a pool of water.
Yeah.
After that, we got to take a look at some of the background pipe. We got to look at
The pumping stations.
yeah, the pumping station.
One of them.
And then we saw a little bit of a show where no copyright infringement here. It
Oh.
had Mariel.
Princesses.
It had Hannah and Kelsa. It had Loana. And then it had Rapunzel. Because that's public domain.
Wasn't there Pocahontas too or something?
No, I think that was
I
Moana.
think there were 5.
Oh, I think that was Loana.
Oh, okay. But a lot of little girls were over
Yeah,
there.
Mariel from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Loana from Moana. Rapunzel from Tangled. And then Hannah and Kelsa from Frozen. That's 5.
Which they sang.
Oh, let it go. Anyway.
Yeah. The little girls were very happy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we walked by the family play area. Like,
Mhm.
I did say like it was pretty cool with the theming with Coconut Island, how there was actually a straw
Yeah.
hanging out. and he talked about how that area was previously where the stage was, but then they decided to use it for expansion. They do not want to do a Halloween, autumn, or winter event because I think it was Deep Rivers Water Park in Indiana. Some water park in Indiana they were talking to. It wasn't Holiday World. I can't. I'm pretty sure it was Deep Rivers if I were to guess. They tried doing that, and then I also made the joke about a polar bear jump. And they were like, they say build what you know.
Yeah. And plus, they have to condition all of the pipes before the frost comes.
Hmm.
So,
And they don't use A plus B when mending when dealing with cracks.
yeah.
They use a different thing. I can't remember what the name of it is, but if you're wondering A plus B, if say like the lazy river or a slide has a crack, they can put A plus B is like this clay putty that you can put down, and
It bonds.
you don't have to worry about waiting for it to harden because it hardens with water.
Yeah. But the gentleman that kind of knows everything about the pipes and
Hmm.
everything else, he was talking to us, and yeah, so it was kind of interesting how much water, I forget how much water they go through a day.
Probably a million if I were to guess.
And it's easier to have the water like running all the time
Then to
than
turn it
just
off.
turn it off, turn it on, turn
Hmm.
it off, turn it on. Um,
Oh, something else we forgot to mention is that this park has its own radio station.
oh yeah, pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, they play country, they play pop, and they play
Christian.
Christian.
Except for
Yep.
at the end when they sang,
Oh,
when they did something from Sound of Music.
yep.
So long, farewell, Avita, say I do to you and you and you. And I was
And
like,
then I
that
think
was an interesting
the other
choice.
was the other song Andy Williams or something. I'm trying to. I
There
was
was a country song I remember. Oh, and they also did a PG version of the CeeLo Green song "Forget You."
yeah.
However, it was like a kids pop version because it was by a female singer, and CeeLo is a male,
Yeah, they picked the
which
songs
is
that were
interesting.
there, so they're really trying to keep it family orientated and
Hmm.
stuff.
The family
I
is
don't know where there was any smoking. I did
yeah.
smell I did smell cigarette smoke
I
a couple
didn't,
times, but I think they had to go outside the gate. It was chain link fence,
as
but
every park should. At
yeah.
least that's my opinion. Uh,
So after the talk and everything,
what did I do next?
didn't you want to do? Oh, you did the whitewater with me, or no, the Great Barrier Reef.
Was that next?
I think so.
Okay, so yeah, then we went in the lazy river for another lap, and I tried to get Kay to put her to like sit in the inner tube so that way she can put her legs up.
I'm not that coordinated yet.
You eventually did it.
Oh, yeah, I was in the tube with my legs in front of me, not sitting in the tube.
No, you were sitting in the tube for a little bit. I thought you were.
No.
Yeah, you were. You were for a
Okay.
little bit, but not like only like a few feet.
It was not very comfortable.
So anyway, we went into the Great Barrier Reef wave pool, and they could probably use a second wave pool.
Yeah, that gets very crowded.
Very crowded and very full. But what's cool is that you kind of go through a sandbox during it.
Well, you could take either the cement sidewalk
Yeah,
or you could go through a sand area. So yes, they do have a huge sand
beach.
area, so you feel like you're at the beach sort of.
I did ask like how deep is the sand because I was like thinking could I like dig like 10 feet deep, and they were like I think it's only like 2 feet or so, and I was like
Yeah,
oh that's
just
bummer.
enough to give you the sandy feeling.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
But when we had the
I
question
find
and
yeah,
answer, the gentleman, I mean the owner of the park, the man, the sir, I forget his name,
same here.
he was
He
parking
he wants
cars
a
for
ride. He
people.
wants a Oh, that guy. The other guy wants a ride named after him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's next year's ride,
Robert or
right?
something. But I mean, the owner was parking cars for people
Mm-hmm.
because they were so parked so far away, and that. And then the wife was helping with inner tubes at one of the rides that was really busy. And the one thing, a lot of their assistants, their employees are were headed back to college. So after the lunch
PJ's Plummet
breaks,
and Tasmanian Twisters finally opened.
right, they opened at like 3ish, um, because they were done with all the lunch breaks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people headed over there, and it was a long line. I'm watching this up the stairs. I'm
That
like,
that was
wow.
something that was something I really wanted to try because I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to the drop pod slides because I just feel like too much can go wrong.
Was that the one you had to carry your tube up all the way to the top?
No,
No, that one you just dropped.
that one, yeah, you just took a dip and then you went all the way down.
Ooh.
It was the PJ's Plummet Three Sisters, the tall slides.
Oh.
So anyway, I was in Great Barrier Reef for a while, and I got to enjoy. I finally got to enjoy a wave pool being in an inner tube, which has its pluses and minuses. One of the minuses is you accidentally almost kick people because when you're backwards, you can't really go forwards, or you
Right.
can't
It's
really.
very
Yeah,
crowded. But when there were no waves, they let the inner tubes go up towards the front.
they did.
Yeah, that's where you were.
Okay,
It went up to what, 9 feet or something?
9 feet deep. I don't think it went 9 feet deep.
7 feet? It
Maybe
was over my
six.
head.
Well, you're like 3 feet tall. Anyway, that's a joke. So anyway, it was at this point that I lost Kay. I was trying to find her and I couldn't, so I took my tube and I did the Three Sisters. The each slide is over 1,000 feet long, and each slide is again very dark until the very end. Now, what's good about them is that they're very long. What's bad about them is that when you land very far away from the slide tower, and there's three of them.
Oh, then you got to climb all the way back
So
up again.
then, no, so then you have to walk all the way back, including going over a bridge ab- above the Lazy River? Somewhere. Or, yeah,
Leading towards the lazy
yeah.
river.
And then you have to climb the towers again. So by the third time, I was a little exhausted, but I was
Well, it
like,
was kind of cool. In the middle of the lazy river, they had that island that you could. It had a lot of shade in it. Had a lot of lounge chairs in there.
that was out the place we were?
No, the place in the middle.
Okay.
You had to take the bridge to get to it.
Oh, that one. Okay. Then I realized that there probably wasn't going to be enough time, so I quickly did the last two attractions I wanted to do. PJ's Plummet, which is a 70 foot, if I were to guess, body speed slide. Um, and when I was up there, I was like, or when it was my turn, I was like, a few of you guys can go ahead. I need to like get myself into the right mental state. And a lot of people were like, "You climbed all this way up and you're not ready." And so I was like, "Well, I'm worried my back is gonna hurt because you go from section to section." They were like, "Just do it," and I was like, "Okay." Okay, Nike. Um, so then I was like, whew. So then I did it, and it wasn't my back that was hurt, and I'll leave it at that. You can probably guess. And then the final ride was the Crocodile Mile, where, uh, what's cool is that they have two different loading, or they have two different queue lines for the raft slide, which is pretty cool. Um, and then I asked, "Hey, can I ride with you?" And they were like, "Sure." And then four of them sat down. And they were like, "There's not room for you." And so then I went over to the other side and I was like, "Hey, is there a group of two? Yeah, can I ride with you?" "Sure." Okay. And then we went on the Crocodile Mile, and it was pretty cool. I think Wanambi. Okay, now I like Crocodile Mile was pretty good, but I don't know if that would. If I were to rank the slides, it would probably be Wanambi, then Boomerang, then Wild Wallabies, then then PJ's Plummet, then Platypus Plunge, and then Crocodile Mile. Oh wait, I didn't include Three Sisters. Uh, Three Sisters would be somewhere in the upper, would be in the upper area. Then we got ice cream. I don't even remember what I got. I think I didn't. I
Got
get
a
the
twist and a cone.
okay. I got the twist. Yeah. Uh, Now, is there any addition you think Raging Waves should add?
Um, huh.
Because I have like,
They had two places for tubes. Um, drink places might have been better.
yeah, they could have used a few more. There, especially when you got to the back half, the drink, the refill places were few and far between,
Right, and a lot of them closed early.
and they didn't open. And the major ones like Sharkbite and Hungry Croc didn't open until an hour after the park opened, which
And the
was
one thing,
interesting.
getting your ice cream as you're leaving, that place that we went to that I mentioned, Dingo's Frosty Treats. Wow, that was a long line.
Hmm. So,
Everybody was hoarded by the thing. Maybe another gift store.
no, I mean, like, what rides do you think they
Oh,
should add?
I'm more of a lazy river and, just a regular pool.
I have, well, those are two of my four things that I would like to see them add. First, I would like to see them add a water coaster, some that starts at ground level, like Wildebeest or Mammoth at Holiday World, or uh, Thunder Rapids at Fiesta Texas. And they were even saying like they've looked at it, and I think they go down there and see it.
I'm not sure. Don't
But
remember.
they've mentioned that, which I think that would be a pretty good addition. I would also like to see maybe some racing mat slides,
Hmm.
because that park gets really crowded. So I was thinking, like, what are things that they need that are high capacity? And a 6 lane racing slide, you can use that. You can use the tower that they used for the zip line.
No, the tower is really weak.
Well, they can just chop off like a chunk of it, because most mat slides are on like 4 or 5 stories. And then the two other things that I thought about that, as Kay said, is I would like to see a lagoon pool, just to alleviate the crowds at the Great Barrier Reef pool.
Well, and the lazy river. So people that just want to be, just standing in the water or something.
Hmm. And the final one is I would like to see something like the best. I don't know what the term of it is, but it's Hubba Hubba Highway at Water Country USA, and Aquatica in Orlando has something similar, and probably so does Volcano Bay. It's um it's a river where you just put on a life vest, and as a result you flow pretty fast because the current is like, I don't know, 6 or 7 miles an hour maybe.
Okay.
Um,
Well, aren't we going to another water park soon or no?
you said you just wanted to swim at the hotel.
Well, we can check out the water park. We'll decide when we get there
Okay.
if it has anything decent.
Mm, anyway,
Well, because the one at the pool at the hotel could be crowded too, so.
hot tub. Uh, so yeah, that's our review of Raging Waves. That's our review of what we think they should add. That's our review of the employees, the radio station, the music. Um, that they don't want to do a winter event. Uh, anything else you want
Mm,
to add?
nope. Overall, it was a very good day.
Yeah, it was a very good day, but man, at the end I was tired.
Yeah.
The park, the park, you're thinking like, well, it doesn't look that big, and then when you're there
Oh,
and it's
wow.
like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty big.
I had a very good workout walking.
Hmm. And I probably
Because the
lost.
locker was way over
Yeah,
there from where we sat. We should have sat closer to the locker.
yeah. I think I lost 10 pounds climbing up the stairs.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our review of Raging Waves. We'll see you again next time probably Alabama parks, right?
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Alabama, Louisiana.
Well, I was thinking about splitting those up into two shows.
Oh,
Bye.
sorry. Bye bye.